Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with
Uncle Spoke.
Damon Armstrong.
either you were trying to finish chewing, or you forgot. Which one is it? Because you know you old.
Damon Armstrong.
Hey,
That's what I got
and you
there.
quiet, and he swallowed. He
Yeah.
swallowed before he said his name.
Look here.
Look, you're right and you're wrong. But uh, but listen, thank you for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed today's conversation. You know, do us a favor, go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. You know, build our numbers up. One day, I'm going to look you guys in the face and say, our numbers are built up. Thank you. And we're going to start sending y'all prizes and shit. You know what I mean? But that day is going to come soon. Because you know what we're going to do, Damon? We're going to go viral. One of y'all going to go viral. No, but man, I'm glad that, this has been a the kind of week where it just moves. For me, it just moves on. You know, it wasn't no excess complaining, but it was a whole lot of cheering, being happy for some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of this stuff was small things, but it is what it is. I got up and looked in the mirror because I was growing my hair out. If y'all noticed, I was growing my hair out, right? And I had the curly locks, right? But for some reason, I was struggling with it. When I looked in the mirror, I was like, it looked cool. You know what I'm saying? It looked cool, but is it me right now? And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back to one because it's not zero, it's one. And I looked in the mirror this morning. I was like, good God, man! Look at that fade. Look at that hair. This is what I'm talking about. And the beard too. Stop it. Stop it. See, hey everybody, y'all got to see this live. This beard, it got enough gray in it and enough black in it to make me look suave. But anyway,
You know,
Jaquari, how was your day today?
my day was cool, man. I had a couple of you know,
I'm gonna say, bro, I was with you, man. You see, I'm letting mine grow up.
had a couple of graduations today at work, man. Young people moving on, trying to move on
Okay.
from situations,
Okay.
and it was inspired to see.
Cool.
There's one thing about my job, man. I've been able to see a lot of young people uh, who, unfortunately, outside of my job or whatever, they don't really go to school, man. And then, when they're with this long term or whatever, and they get into the groove of school, they figure out that they're good at education
Hmm. Hmm.
and GEDs and people finishing up, man. It comes in relatively quick fashion, for these kids. So they're smart, they're book smart. It's just, their decision making is off sometimes, man. But it felt good to to be a part of those achievements. So I had a pretty good day.
Cool. Cool. Damon, what about yourself?
Man, I had a great day, man. Me and my grandbaby sat around and we was working on her reading and arithmetics and listening to old school music. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, she like, play that one song, granddaddy. Uh, Al Jarreau joint. And I was like, oh yeah, this what I love right here, boy.
Which one was
So I'm
that?
introducing her to some old school stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Cool.
Uh,
Hey, Luke,
what happened?
you
You say
work
which
on
song was it?
Yeah, which song was it?
Rooftop. Uh, the one joint he made with man, it was so many, man. I
So,
can't name them. There's so
I know
many
which one.
religious names.
I bet you I can guess which one it was. You
Which one?
put me on. You put me on the spot, brother.
Hey,
No,
hey,
man, you
Damon.
Never
spoke the truth. It
Da-
was a whole lot, bro.
No,
yeah.
no, it was a little joke, man.
Hey, Damon. Do you ever work on writing with her?
Yeah, you know, um, every now and then, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? All I do is, I got this book that, shows straight lines and wiggle lines and, hoops and stuff like
Look
that
for
so she can put it all together.
little advice, man. Look for something that kind of explains cursive writing, man. Because they don't. I don't think they teach cursive writing anymore in school.
They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't. Only for signatures. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's
I've
it.
never
That's
seen.
pretty much what my day was, man.
Okay.
Go ahead, Splat. What you
Okay.
saying, spoke?
I've never seen a legible signature in cursive. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, you got actual people, actual young folks in their 20s, man, signing documents like in regular block letters. I'm like, man, what is this? At least connect the lines, bro. I mean,
No, that's what they're taught to do, man.
really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's, it's antiquated now, brother.
Mm.
I'm not going to say
That- that-
obsolete because, like you say, for the signature, but
it's just for the signature. That's it.
I used to work, or even in high school. I used to work on my signature.
Well, I did too. I did too. And one day I'm gonna be famous.
Mm-hmm.
that that's because y'all were stars, man.
I wouldn't have.
You know what I'm saying? I just had the chicken scratch. And I said, you know what? That's cool. That's my
that's
signature.
a, that's all signatures, ain't it though? Chicken scratch. Couple swoops here, couple to make sure the first letter is the letter of your name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what's going on, man? What you know? Had you seen anything locally or nationally or globally that was peculiar to you today that you want to throw out there?
Man, my bubble is thickened, man. Seriously, man. I watch the news. I watch the reels. I don't know why I watch Facebook reels for my news, but I do. But there's a couple of people talking about how the government is basically bankrupt, man. And they're everybody's waiting for some major event, for them to drop that news, and I'm like, wow, so we just turned it into a third world country, man.
I don't think it, no, I don't agree with that for one reason, and it's one reason only because we got a lot of money that's allocated to other places outside this nation in which they can reverse and put it back into us, right? But it's that kind of thing where we don't want to look bad. Like like Israel has all this money. Yeah, I mean, it's a strong economically, it's a strong nation, man. Economically, right? But the United States sends a lot of money to Israel. You know what I mean? And when it came to the Russian Ukraine war, they sent money over there as well as arms. You know what I'm saying? So it's there. It's just that they don't want to pour it into the country. That's how I see it. You know.
Can you imagine, man, the number of Jewish people, man, who don't? Because I don't know if something is going on. I mean, they try to characterize the situation, man. That, but like Israel is this great specter, man. It's got a hand in everything, and just controlling the world through fucking
No,
subterfuge and guile and shit, man. But can you imagine how it is to be a Jewish person when you ain't got nothing to do with that? You don't benefit from anything that happens in Israel at all, and all of a sudden, man, everybody, it's just free will to talk about Jews on the internet. On the internet,
I'm sorry.
just,
I'm
just like
interrupting
it
you,
is about
Jaquan.
black.
I was going to say, man, you describe it being black in this country.
Yeah, yeah.
You're describing being black, but Jewish people, and I'm talking about Jewish people have community. I'm not saying black people don't have community, but Jewish people try to be as linked as possible, and they do. And a lot of people, Anglo-Saxons and to the man and woman, do not like that. So guess what they do?
But it's everybody's goal, though. Everybody wants to have that connection like the Jewish community does.
I bet, see, that's my whole point, though, man. What I get tired of is like, okay, not to get too caught up in this because it's a rabbit hole, right? But to hear the United States has been guilty of this, the Russians have been guilty of this, Israel has been guilty of this, where this great specter, the rest of the world has it out for us, and we have to strike first. We have to pour them. We have to interject our political process. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking in general because that's the rhetoric that flies around, especially in this country, that the United States and for real, I'm a United States citizen. I love this country. I don't love a lot of the people in it when they on that bullshit, but I love this country, meaning what has given me to have the brothers, the mothers, the fathers, and the sons and the wives that I have. This is why I have love, right? Now you want me to talk the political shit. I acknowledge it, but it has little to do with how I want to live and how I live. You know what I'm saying? I'll respond to stuff that's jacked up and I'll speak on it. You know what I mean? And if I could do something about it, I will. But you think about it. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. That's people's identity. You know what I'm saying? That's people's identity, man. And I'm like, man, you know more than this. You know what I mean? Whereas a genuine hatred because you don't belong, and I think it's a small percentage of it, but that percentage has the bigger voice. If you don't belong to this party, then you're weak. You're this, you're that, you blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, nobody knows how to live. Just live. Because I've always been a crusader for the poor. Always been a crusader for the downtrodden because I once was or still am a member of those two things. You know what I'm saying? Or I know somebody who are members of it. So I don't forget that. But when you start to pour in, uh, the Democrats, they had this and they had that, and the Republicans, they had this and they don't care about this, and no, they're evil people who don't care about you. It ain't a party because you are the one you're throwing energy into that party. You're throwing energy and hate into that party, but it's really you. You know what I'm saying? But they use the party to feel that way.
Yeah. I mean, the party is the umbrella, man. I mean, whether you're Democrat or Republican, it's all branding. It's all it's all Crips and Blood. That's what it is. You know,
Yeah,
our two major political parties have just turned into gangs.
yeah. You know, And I don't. If you know me or you have a chance to talk to me, and you don't have to know, but you have a chance to talk to me, you understand where I'm coming from as a human being, right? I don't forget what has happened to my people in this country. I haven't forgotten that. But I also, in some cases, I make the choice not to be, hell, I made the choice ever since from a youth, not to be hostile and counterproductive towards people.
But I can see
You know
how
what I
you
mean?
would make that. I can see how you make that decision, man. I mean, thank God, personally, I haven't become that cynical uh, yet,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm still willing to give a person on an individual level the benefit of the doubt, bro. For real, that's something that I believe has got to stay with me because I, I don't want to treat people bad, man. And I certainly don't want to do it, under somebody else's umbrella. You
Gotcha.
know, if somebody's fucked up, then I'll find my own reason, to you know cut them out or whatever. But
Yeah. Last week I addressed it. I talked to Damon about a co-worker of mine. You know, old boy, North Carolina old boy. You know, felt as though a good deputy, but you run into somebody who think he's a lot smarter, so he wants to streamline what he's doing instead of just doing what he's doing. And that, as far as that's the job is concerned, and he would get jammed up because of it, and he'd take it personal when he got jammed up, right? But I befriended him, and not to go back into the story again. If you want to know, folks, tune in to last week's episode. But he wanted to, he didn't feel comfortable that he looked up to me. So he wanted to come and challenge me. I mean, through words, and he used his father as the foil. Because his father, his father is a minister, one of them old boys, you know what I'm saying? You grew up around this because you was insulated by a dislike and separatism in your community. Even though you lived around us, you still had this separation. You know what I'm saying? And somebody talked to me about they saw the pod, they saw the episode, right? And they said, "Yeah, Keith, did you feel good about putting him in his place?" You know what? And I said, "Hey, you know what? I said that. I said that not to let people know that I'm putting him in his place because that was easy to do, and that was my example. It's like it's easy to do. You when you I was trying to make the example of when you try to take on ideas that you really don't believe in, but you hear it from other people, right? It's easy to tell. It's easy to tell. You know what I mean? So, and that's all it was. As a matter of fact, Jaquari, you came to my retirement, right?
mhm. Yeah,
And you saw him, and we'll talk about it later. But you saw he came up and spoke.
yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean? Oh, he was the one who got choked up talking about me.
You'd be surprised the people you make an impact on, man. Seriously,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
exactly.
the wildest thing.
Yeah, but
I think that's why I never tried to purposely influence anybody, man. I just, hey, man, feel how you feel about me.
you know
I mean,
what?
for the most part, my interactions have been good.
I agree. I think the only people that I tried to do that with, what you just said, Jaquari, was my kids. That was it. Because it's my responsibility to do that shit. You know what I mean? Impress upon them what I feel were core values and all these different things, you know? But anybody else, hey man, you feel how you feel. I'm not gonna kiss your behind. I'm not gonna do it.
It's not easy, man. It's not easy, man. You know, and I found myself over the years, man, not only with this job but other jobs, man, feeling and you said it before, feeling some kind of way because I'm not about it. I wasn't a part of the crowd or whatever,
Yeah.
and you walk up on a conversation and everybody talking about the get together they just had last weekend, but as soon as you've been in that corner, they start whispering. You're like, well, fuck, what's wrong with me? Shit, I'm a live wire. Shit, I am the
Yeah.
party. That's not the point. That's not the point. I mean, you can't be offended because people don't get that vibe from you. Just because they don't get that hangout kickback vibe from you, don't mean that they don't think you're a good dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for the most part, people try to insulate you. I mean, you'd be surprised, about them weekend get-togethers, how much shit actually gets stirred up, and
Oh, of course. Of course.
you don't hear about it until weeks later, if you hear about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I tell you, the funny thing is, uh, I was talking to a friend of mine today, and he and I, this is when I used to go out to clubs and stuff. That he was my ace, Crawford. He was my ace, right? And I was talking about because he and I used to throw day parties together, and I would go to the people on the job like, look, this is like a stress party. You know, Jaquari, you haven't been to a couple of them. I said it's like a stress party, man. Y'all invited to come through, this, that, and the other. And I understood their answer, but I also understood everything else, right? So one brother said, "Hey man, I don't want nobody on the job to know my business," which makes sense when you're in a political working for a politician. If you get a bad rep because people in law enforcement can't help themselves, they gossip. We have access to too much information, and we gotta let that shit go or it'll explode. You know what I'm saying? And there's too much bad information, but they'll gossip. That man, I don't want nobody to know my business. Da 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 da. Right? So I ran into a woman and a man. And said, yeah, man, I don't want nobody to know my business. Da 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 da. This. And they come back to work and do this and do that. All right. And one day I was like, okay, I felt some kind of way because you telling me. And this is because I was being immature at the time. You telling me fuck my day party. You know what I'm saying? I'm not coming. That's my excuse for not coming. I said, well, look, I've been in the club with you.
yeah,
I said that to men and women. I've been in the club with you. Looked at the young lady. I said, no disrespect to you. I said, I've been in the club with you. You had a great time. And I
mhm,
said, yeah, I saw you. This is me and her just talking. I said, I saw you breaking it down, grabbing on your knees, stranger that got one hand on the right hip. You know what I'm saying? And he's like a cowboy. I said, did you know him? No. That's a stranger. You're doing that in public, right? But I said, you can't come together as far as work. I said, I understand. So it's not like I'm trying to talk, they say it different. But I don't want you to go back and tell other people this and discourage them from coming to our parties. You know what I'm saying? I said, you could do this in front of a stranger, but you still work for the same person. You know what I'm saying? And that stranger would do more damage, to you by going in and reporting you I mean, but you're safer when it's people who know you have something to lose. And she looked, and a light bulb went up. Poof. You know what I mean? And she's like, you know what, Strong? You're right, but it's a couple people I don't like. I know's coming, so I'm not coming. I said, I respect that. You know what I mean? But it's a small thing, coming to a day party, man. It's a small thing. It definitely didn't ruffle my feathers, though. But it is what it is.
I'm like, as many times I've helped a couple of y'all to y'all cars and shit. This how y'all gonna
Yeah. Looking out for them, But put this up here. Malika says, do you think they were reluctant because alcohol could come into play? Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Like I said, cause I was not disagreeing with her. I just think at the time I did not like that person's smugness because I was telling the truth, but I'm like, look, if you have the right insulation and you come just to fellowship, you safe with us. You know what I mean? And that was my whole point of it. You know?
But at some point in time, man, in regards to those situations, personally, man, I feel myself, like falling back. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yo, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll be around. But I mean,
So
I
what
think,
what do you think? What do you think, Dan?
As far as what I'm getting, man, from what y'all talking about, I mean, it's about who you feel comfortable around, man. Some people you choose to trust, man. Some people you choose to be comfortable around.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and hell, the ones that's closest to you is the ones that have something to say. But it is what it is, bro. You know, you
Why
just
do you
deal with it
think
how you
that?
deal with it.
That's a good point. So why do you think the closest one to you sometimes do the most damage as far as talking? Why do you think they would do that to you?
I mean,
You
What do
asking
you
me?
think? Yeah, I'm asking you.
I think these are the people that think they know you. They might view you a certain way. Um, See, everybody want to see it. Everybody want to see everybody on the pedestal, man. People admiring you. You know what I'm saying? And there's like, what's special about that brother or that sister? You know what I'm saying? I know this and I know this, and he ain't who you think he is, and she ain't who she thinks she is, and they get caught up in all that madness, man. And I don't think I think that insecurity, man, make them speak on somebody who really got their back. Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's ugly, man. It's an ugly situation.
It is.
I mean, and I'm just, like I said, I'm playing catch up, so I'm trying to,
You didn't
you
miss
know,
nothing, man. You didn't miss nothing. You good,
uh,
man. You good. You know what I mean?
that's a good
Ja'Cory,
point.
what do you think?
I was just gonna say that's a good point because Malika Harris said same goes with social media. I know people that will add strangers, but not their coworkers. I refuse to add my coworkers.
Why?
And I because I just don't. I mean, I had the job before I had the job I had before this one. It was a guy who sent me a friend request, right?
Uh-huh.
And he told me, yeah, I sent you a friend request, man. So I accepted him as a friend, right? And he's telling me about how he looked at all my pictures and all this, and went through my whole history, my whole Facebook history or whatever, man. And then when I tried to befriend him, he had everything private. I'm like, you dirty mother, what the fuck is this? You want to know all my information or whatever, man, and see all my good times or whatever, but can't nobody say, "Oh, I don't do that, man." And why you ain't tell me that at first?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why you
I
ain't tell
would,
me that?
you know what I would have did? I would have went back and blocked it. I mean,
I don't.
I'm being honest with you because I
I don't
think it was what you call it, disingenuous, disingenuous. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because what really and truly, they want to know. 95% of people. No, I take that back. I'm not even gonna say that. But they want to know something about you, right? So me personally, I recognize how Facebook was when I first joined, right? If you're able to download pictures of yourself and your family, download the pictures that you don't mind being of. Don't
Okay.
download no personal stuff. I'm not saying that's you, Jaquar. I'm just saying that was my Facebook etiquette. So anytime that I came on there, anytime that I posted on Facebook, right? Anytime I posted on Facebook, bro, I had no problems that people saw what I posted, whether or not it would ruffle feathers, right, or would make people feel good. It was just what's on my heart. Because sometimes if I couldn't get in touch with you, Jaquari, or you, Damon, I'm like, hey man, bling, right? And I didn't go back to look at. Let me see how many people like this. Let me see other people's opinion. You know, people would have an opinion, but it didn't matter to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like. I mean, as far as posting goes, man, I just I don't think my life is that interesting, man. To where I really, really just got to put this out there. I got to get that out there, man. That's gonna go viral. Yeah, I mean,
I think it's a release though.
yeah,
For
yeah,
some people don't got nobody to talk to.
It's all
You know what I
about,
mean?
to me, man. To me, it's all about finding who you have something in common with. Man. That's all.
Yeah, yeah,
Do I have? Am I the only one that think or feel this way? Who do I have something in common with? What people?
a, a
I'm
release,
saying,
man. Yeah.
man,
I'm gonna tell you why I really joined. And I think I told both of you guys is because I was so busy living whatever life I was living that I missed out on the people that I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Even though me and Damon Jaquari, we had some roots in Ipsy, but we was always in transition from Detroit and this and that. We would get planted. We would get replanted back if we would go back to Detroit and go back to Ipsy, go back to Detroit. Because it started off Detroit, but we'd go back to Ipsy. So the people that we was hanging out with in Ipsy grew. You know what I'm saying? And they had different experiences and they moved on and we had to re-know them, right? But what I realized before I joined is I didn't want to live my life in a transitional way. And that's what I was doing. Like always temporary, you know? But then I went out and Facebook, and you know how Facebook like you got this and this person, and you may know this person, you may know that person, and I would go through them. I would really put up an effort to go through them, and the people that I recognize, because some people hard living, hard living, hard living was unrecognizable. So I had to scroll through their pictures to see what they looked like when they was young. Oh, that's my man. Boom. You know.
what happened to me, man, is I used to let my wife manage my Facebook, man. People who was because I would get the friend request or whatever, and she'd look at it, be like, you got the friend request from this person, that person, this person, right? And I'd be like, well, no, I don't. No, you can refuse that. 'Cause I got into a fight with that motherfucker. And she's like, what? She's like, that was 30 years ago. Yeah, so yeah, it's we fought. I don't. I'm not gonna be friendly with a motherfucker that punched on me. You serious?
I hold grudges.
That ain't no grudge. That's safety management. That's shit. Protecting my space.
What you say? What you say? They're permanent adversaries
Yeah, fuck them every day.
every day. But yeah, man, just I think, and that's the key to everything is understanding why I do certain things. I've always that's the question I've always been on because you follow trends and you do all different things like that. We're human beings, man. We look for our tribe everywhere we can look for 'em. You know what I mean? That's just it, I think. But what I always try to do is make sure that my personal self, my personal character, my personal who I am as a person is always anchored to the ground. You know, because you know how we grew up, right? Just think about it, man. We wasn't no friendly, we wasn't no friendly people when we was growing up. Like strangers, they could be, and I want your opinion on this. Strangers. I'm talking about in transition strangers. You know what I'm saying? Not okay. I got to be around you for a minute. I was like, oh damn, he all right. Not that. I'm talking about. I'll give you an example. Moving down here as compared to living in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, you could not. Pittsburgh was a little different, but just in the state of Pennsylvania, people had hostile energy. You know what I'm saying? People had hostile energy. So when I moved down here to North Carolina, and I was used to it because we had. Remember what? Hey man, don't stand on back at the crib. Don't stare nobody in the face too long. They be looking at you like, "What you looking at?" Or don't speak to the wrong man because, hey man, what the fuck what you speaking to me for? That happened to me. I know it happened to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
And I used to do it. I used to do it. I'd be like, hey, you know me, bro.
Man,
Nah, I ain't had that
hold
energy,
on for a
spoke.
minute.
I ain't had that energy, spoke. I ain't had that energy at all. I was, if somebody spoke to me out of there, what's up, man? Take me 2, 3 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you know when somebody's trying to square up on you. But when I moved down here, total strangers. I'm talking about black men, even the white people. Hey, how you doing? Like, Jaquari, when you moved down here to go to school, right? Did you not get that all the time, no matter where you went?
Yeah, we be sitting on the porch and people would wave and all that. And I'm like, you know
Yeah,
this? No, I don't know that. I'm like, what the fuck they
yeah,
waving?
yeah. And
That
you
was,
know what? It's a shame that you had to live under that, man. You know what I mean? Because it changes you. It's what it stunted growth of socialization. You know what I'm saying? But black men from our area, um, from different areas, right? They had to live by that because of safety. I think.
you never know how somebody's day is gonna go. I mean, you can either improve it or ruin it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna tell y'all, man. When I think about it in retrospect, man, I was cool with everybody, man. I was cool with everybody. I ain't really had no problems with nobody. Most of the time, I kept to myself, and then when I started branching out, and you know what I'm saying, and dealing with brothers, you know what I'm saying, it was that competition on the basketball court, stuff like that. That's about as far as it went, bro.
Well,
Other than
and
that, man,
that's a different animal because, like you said, Damon, we grew up when it came to basketball. We was hostile on that court. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
cats from Buller Run and Pioneer, Huron, Ryman. I was cool with a whole lot of brothers, you know, and used to mess with them. You know what I'm saying? Show up at their school and everything was cool.
I
You
know
know,
I ain't
so
do nothing. I ain't do nothing. I ain't do none of that. But I had nothing against it. You know what I'm saying? So you can start with me. You can start from our relationship. If we ain't speak for years, but you ain't never heard me speak a hostile word. You feel what I'm saying? So
right.
if we're around each other, we got a neutral place to start from. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. Everywhere I went, man, Apple Ridge, everywhere I went, I got greeted, man. You know what I'm saying? What's up, brother? You know, that kind of thing. It was cool for me, bro. I ain't had
Uh,
no hostility with nobody.
I can't say that, bro. But shit, like I said, it was a different time because I made sure that I was not in some kind of mix. You know what I'm saying? Because when you with your boys, say when we was in high school, going to Ann Arbor, going different places, going down to Detroit and all this shit, right? You show no fear and you were 10 toes the whole time, ready for some crazy shit to happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it was, right? So I went to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh, I can honestly say, showed me how to mature. And the reason why is because I was a pseudo celebrity there, played for Pitt, the whole nine, right? So people spoke to me all the time, white and black, right? But other than that, unless you had some hood drama like Northside, Homewood, whatever, the Hill District, unless you had some hood drama. If you seen another black dude, you spoke. Pittsburgh, that's why I said Pittsburgh. The state of Pennsylvania is a different thing. You know what I'm saying? But Pittsburgh was different because I think because it's a sports town, people made the decision to speak. You feel what I'm saying? Especially if they wasn't up to no good. They made a decision to speak with stuff. You know what I mean? And it taught me a lot. I I definitely I had I tell people all the time I had two childhoods. The ones back in Michigan and the one in Pittsburgh. Because from 18 to what, 28, 10 years, right? I consider that was a childhood, a learning experience, growing to become something. You feel what I'm saying? What you guys think?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, talk about from a personal basis. What do you think? Because you did come to Pittsburgh several times, and I know Pittsburgh wasn't like what you hanging out in Pittsburgh was not like you was hanging out back at the crib.
It was different, man. It was different, but I never felt like I was. I never felt like I had to have a third eye open. You know, keeping yeah. So I mean, yeah.
You did, you did,
I was
but
hostile. I was hostile.
you
I was
yeah,
hostile towards everybody.
you was hostile. No, I'm saying you was hostile, and you was with me and my friends and with Damon. So you didn't have to be. You didn't have to get caught up in shit because we was already there. We wouldn't put you. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but just you know the hyper vigilance I grew up with, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
in some places I didn't really have to exercise it, and you
I
know,
tell I tell I tell people that all the time.
if I was in a new place, man, and I was on point or whatever, and you know, I could feel different factors starting to relax me. You know, I just went with it, and
I'm gonna, t-
luckily not nothing crazy ever happened.
I'm gonna tell you the funniest thing. Then our mother and father and Jaquari came up. It was with Val. Remember when all four of y'all rolled up to come and see me? They came up for a weekend, Damon, right? So I said, this first time, really the first time Jaquari hung out with me. Like, come on, man, let's go. Like I treated, he transitioned from little brother, what the fuck you doing? To like, come on, man, let me show you how to do this, right? So we go to the top of the O. You remember the top of the O, Damon? You remember that joint, right? We go to the top of the O. It was me and Dan, and me and Jaquari. We're sitting there. We got a pitcher of beer, right? I think Jaquari, you about 17, maybe. Yeah, so 17, we sitting up there drinking the beer, right? And all of a sudden, the light, I knew her, light skinned girl come up and she stopped at the table and she looked him straight in his face and she sits down, don't say a word. And I say, yo, man, look, yeah, no, I'm trying to introduce her. Say, no, 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 you ain't got to introduce me. And now she all in Jaquari's face. And Jaquari's a youngin', and he looking at me like, yo, man, what the hell?
I don't know what the fuck to do. This ain't never happened, man. Like shit, hey, what to do? What to do now?
Damon, I'm laughing because I'm like, yo, that's how it is here. And at least talk to her. So he finally got comfortable and just started talking to her.
I'm like,
You know what I'm saying?
should I do a card trick or what the fuck? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, and look, and that was the whole thing. It's like what I understood was, I mean, you get back at the crib, the women, they test you on your manhood. Like, yo, is this the type of motherfucker I'm gonna fuck with? You know what I'm saying? Homegirl didn't know him from a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, she sat there for about 40 minutes, right? And we're just sitting there, chopping up shit, just talking to the quarter. And I was happy for him. I said, man, this is what you have to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? This is what you have to look forward to. This is what being grown is about. You know what I'm saying?
It was definitely something, an experience that I tucked away in my mental warehouse, man. Because when I got to college, man, I was like, shit. I just, things was wild for a little while. Things was wild for a little while, man. And I found myself having to refocus on what the hell I was there for. Because I could
Yeah.
see how, I mean, like the first time I flunked out of college, man. I was like a babe in the woods, like oh man, fuck, like you know, I think I was in a situation where I was definitely trying to reinforce what I was learning over studying, man, and and I've never been good at test taking or anything like that, man. So it affected me, man. It definitely affected me, man. And I wasn't successful my first time in college, man. But uh, when I moved down to North Carolina, you know, it wasn't a miraculous transition, man. But I seen opportunities, where I could expand certain shit, and it wasn't necessarily limitless, but I understood that I had resources, the shit that I
Yeah.
wanted, everything that I wanted.
Because, and I want you guys to comment on this. The better we understand who we are and the better we feel about who we are affects how we treat other people. Give me your opinion on that, Damon.
I always knew, man. You know how we grew up, man. You had to establish yourself as a man, number one, and how you carry yourself and all that with respect and all that stuff. I always had an expectation, man.
Uh-huh.
My job was not to diminish that within myself, my own personal self, because I was representing something. you know. But I felt like this, man. We was always together, so you know there was a certain amount of comfort there. You know what I'm saying? You can relax and let your head down. You know, there were times when we almost got into some things, you know,
Yeah.
more than a few times. But if you think about it, always got talked out and always got squashed. You know what I'm saying? It was never really a rumble there.
Yeah.
You know, so we knew how to carry ourselves in that regard. You know.
But you know what I found in my interactions, especially with black men, you know, I mean, some some brothers really don't respect you until they test you, and
Yeah.
that's too bad. I mean, but if it's got to happen, you know, I'd much rather it happen early.
I get that, Jaquan. That makes sense. That makes sense. But I think that okay. I'm glad you said it like that, Jaquan, because Damon Jaquan, I want to ask you this. You being taught how to conduct yourself out in the world, right? That is a choice for you to conduct yourself that way. Is it the only way to go, or should you absorb it and then what you comfortable with, do it that way?
Yeah, I mean, because when you consider the way you know we was brought up or whatever, man, you know, we was raised to check a motherfucker hard from the gate.
From the
But
gate?
I mean, we wasn't necessarily around the same kind of people Pop was around,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So I mean, that you know, he you know he was living a life that you know. And I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to say anything negative or anything like that, but you know, like during the '70s and shit, you know, that it was a different caliber of man,
it was.
you know. And I'm not taking away anything from my peers or anything like that, but you know, I ain't had to. I found out through, you know, I guess you could say trial and error that you know, shit. Some people you ain't really got to go that hard with. I mean, you know, some people are just playing, but some people really want to, really want to know what your temperature is.
Yeah,
It all depends on how they catch you, man. Y'all know how I came up. Motherfuckers always jump from behind trees on my ass and shit, you know. But that's because I was always by myself a lot. You know what I'm saying? Walking home at night and shit like that. You know. But my attitude, man, is this, man, and this was what always worked for me. Somebody come to me talking shit, I'd be like, all right, I tell you what, I'm finna walk this way. All you gotta do is stop me. You know what I'm saying? That's all you gotta do is stop me. If they come out their mouth, oh man, you ain't nothing but a bitch. All right, okay. You know what? I don't believe you. You gotta prove that to me while I'm walking this way. Show me. You know? And most times ain't nobody stepping up, not unless they got 2, 3 motherfuckers with them. But other than that, they ain't finna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why they trying to check you. If they ain't trying to rob you, you feel me? If they trying to
yeah,
rob you, that's a whole different situation. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody trying to step up and trying to make you look bad because they see you as something, you know what I'm saying? It's as simple as, man, I'll tell you what. Stop me from going over here. You know what I'm saying? This is your situation. You brought it up. This is your challenge. Stop me from moving from here to there. No, that ain't what you're trying to do. Speak volumes about you.
yeah. I think
And
I would,
that's pretty much what my attitude has always been.
as a peacekeeper when I was a young guy, I had to get my head bumped a couple times. Feel embarrassed about shit. You know what I'm saying? I can honestly say I didn't lose a fight, but it was fights that I didn't try to fight. Made sure that I wasn't hurt, but I didn't try. This is when I was young. And what that taught me when I really started to come into myself and understand stuff is I knew that I would not allow somebody to really and truly um, mess with me. So, because what I understood about fear, and that's the thing about it is, most people think fear is the deciding factor into what you do in that moment. But fear may not be a natural response, but fear helps you with your surroundings and your awareness, where you can make a, if you are experienced enough, you can make a conscious decision for you. Like me, I've never been the type of person to run away when somebody's depending on me, right? If I was by myself, I would probably make, when I was younger, I'll probably make, I would probably make decisions to avoid going down that path. Like, yo, let me make a right on Hector and go down Martindale. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, that's what I would do. But if I had no choice and I had somebody there that depended on me, no matter how much my heart was beating out of my chest, I'm standing 10. I'm standing 10 times, 10 down.
Man,
You
that
know what I'm
shit used to
saying?
be crazy.
So, and the point I'm trying to make is fear is always going to be in our lives, man. We never conquer it, but we learn to understand it. You know what I mean?
It's
We
a
really
tool.
do.
Definitely a tool, man. I mean, it's my fear is something I've never been ashamed of because I've always had action behind it. You know,
Uh-huh.
you got to do it afraid. You got to live life afraid. You know,
Because look, I've learned to articulate it. Like, hey, man, you making me nervous, man. Slow your dumb ass down.
and with it,
You know what I'm saying?
within those seconds, man, you know, I've been lucky enough to be able to make determinate decisions. Like, hey, man, look, all this going back and forth is not serving me. It's not serving me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to escalate, and
No
that'll be
doubt.
my choice. No, that'll be my choice, no matter what happens.
No doubt. I remember I had a party at the house, man. Birthday party down here in Raleigh, right? You didn't make it, Daniel. And Jaquari was playing spades. And a young man, he's a good brother. He's a good brother.
And I
But
believe,
you
I
know,
believe,
yeah, and you know how you run into people who think they're smarter for some reason than everybody else in the room, right? So we're playing cards, and we're talking about me and Jaquari talking about with Keith's current girlfriend at the time supplements, because Jaquari was looking fantastic, man. He had gotten in shape, he had lost all the weight, and he was that, sitting there like, yo, bro, yeah, da 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 da. Which it was miscellaneous conversation while he playing spades.
yeah, we're talking about chia seeds.
Yep. And what was crazy about it was my man had just beat cancer, right? So he was on the same path as Jaquari as far as looking at everything organically, whatever. Jaquari just said something simple about charity. Charity. That was it. It wasn't nothing like, he wasn't preaching to us. He wasn't saying anything. He was just talking. He was talking to Chief current girlfriend at the time. That's all it was. And we playing spades. My man, for some reason, just kept digging at Jaquari. I'm looking at him like, yo, you just met him. You know what I'm saying? Why are you on this? Right? And he wasn't disrespectful. He was just, you know how somebody would, Jaquari would say something, and we had been drinking now, and we were drinking the tequila at the time.
Uh,
So
oh,
both me and Jaquari's head, forehead is sweating, damn. You know what I'm saying? We having a good time. It's my birthday, right? And Jaquari was everything Jaquari said. My man had a little counter. It was a passive aggressive counter, right? Jaquari said, he said, fuck it. Hey man, he said, hey man, why every time you guys, man, Jaquari went in. And my man sat there all calm. And I realized, okay, so he was trying to provoke him for some reason, right? And Jaquari said what he said. He said what he said. And he said it with hostility. We got about 40 people in the house, Luke, here at the house. Everybody, because we got a spade tournament going, right? Jaquari got fed up. See, I know this side of him. Nobody else knows this side of Jaquari but other than you, Dana. You understand what I'm saying? I forget, but Jaquari was. I'm gonna get up from this table. I said, so what I did was I checked my man. I said, hey man, what is you doing? You know what I'm saying? I said, this is my brother. What is you doing? Now Jaquari, you know he got this vein right here. You know what I'm saying? He mad as much. So
man,
so
if I
Jaquari gets up, I think you said something along the lines, I mean, I'm going to get up before I do something to you, right? So Jaquari get up from my kitchen table, right? He goes upstairs because in my living room they had a table, right? So and then up in the family room they had a table. Jaquari goes upstairs and he passed past Crawford, my friend Crawford, right? Crawford told me the next day, he said, yeah, man, I was walking past your little brother. He said, he said, your little brother looked at. I said, man, you all right? He said, he was mad. He said, you all right? He said, hey, man, I'm getting ready to walk up this stairs because I'm getting ready to beat that motherfucker's ass. And what's so funny about it is, Jaquari made that choice that he usually wouldn't have made. You know what I'm saying?
it comes a point, man. I like to think that especially with a confrontation. Look, I've done and said everything that I possibly could, man, to try to help you to save face. Because I
Yeah,
mean, I'm trying to be on the side of it. I'm a gentleman to everybody, man. Uh, I don't want to smoke. He said I can't. It should take me too long to heal, man. I can't be out here, eyes all lumped up and shit like that, man. So if I be like, fuck it, man, this is what it is, and that's what it is, and I don't want to talk about it no more. So I
yeah,
have to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. But,
You know, y'all always had the mean streaks, man. You know, I was always the chill motherfucker.
man, get the
You
fuck
know,
out of here, man. What are you talking about?
I was always that motherfucker that laid back in the cut. You know what I'm
How
saying?
dare you?
If I had to
Yeah,
How,
jump on the motherfucker back, I'd jump on the motherfucker back. But you know, I ain't starting
how,
shit with no motherfucking bed. Nobody.
how dare you?
it
How
was it
You
was
dare you
know,
say that?
it wasn't us getting
that's how
whacked
I
on the
was.
head, whacked
Yeah,
on the
okay.
golf clubs and shit, bro. That wasn't
Damon,
us.
Damon,
Huh?
I'm gonna let you get away with
No,
that, but you better
I
go
ain't.
ahead with
Yeah,
that.
man.
Stop
Let
it.
it go, bro.
Stop it.
Cause
Yes,
I
sir.
wasn't that motherfucker.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That wasn't me.
I don't
I
know.
was
But
chilled. But I had your back though.
all right. Um, we moving on. Here's the segue because it's kind of along the lines, man. Three of us discussed it earlier. Um, I was talking. What brought this on to my attention? These topics to my attention was my youngest son. He's 18 now. You know what I mean? And he's starting to Well, he's always been interested in girls, but his confidence level is approaching 10 right now. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, the young kids of this generation,
Oh, excuse me. I got to stretch my back out, man.
the young kids of this generation, right? I done told him about that. Just go. You know what I'm saying? We got you. But the young kids of this generation, right? No, it's not a lot of face to face. So face to face is trial and error. You feel what I'm saying? It's what it is, man. And, that's just how you learn. Some of us are more confident in ourselves than others, but really and truly, how we learn is trial and error. How to talk to young ladies, how to feel comfortable around them, how to approach them the whole nine. You know. So my thing is to ask you this: what's on the screen from an old head's point of view? And I know it's been some years that you dated, but if you had a son, Jaquan, and your son comes to you for advice, I want you, I mean, really and truly, I want you to sincerely answer these questions. What is your old school dating advice for your for the young men in these days? What would you what would be let's do that. What would be two major things you would tell your son?
First one, man, would be I have a conversation with him about uh, polish and presentation. Okay, grooming and all that stuff, man. That's basic stuff. But my main point would be, man, uh, don't change certain things about yourself, to fit uh, uh, what somebody else finds appealing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Be who you are, man. Don't chase no trends. Don't be afraid, to set yourself apart, from everybody else. Because everybody's doing the same shit. They just got a different cadence to it. Figure
Okay.
figure out figure out who you are, polish that person up, and be able to present that person, man, in a way that's going to be attractive. Now, when you try to point that attractiveness, towards a certain person or whatever, and they don't reciprocate it, that's not a loss because somebody notices. You just got to
Okay.
pay attention. You just got to pay attention to who's noticing it,
Yeah.
and that and that's where you go. Second, a
Okay.
second piece of advice, man, would be don't necessarily go sharing your plans with the people that you just meet. If you don't have a fairly secure relationship with this, and this is anybody, males and females. Don't talk about your plans, because when those plans fall through, that's a point where people choose to judge you on.
So what do you mean by plans?
Shit, whatever. I mean, be as general as you can take that statement. I mean, be a man of action is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Don't talk about what you're gonna do. Do what you're gonna do. If it's successful, then share the details. Hell, if you're unsuccessful, share the details. Don't be ashamed of how you conduct your life. If you find yourself being in a position to where you are feeling shameful, then there's something wrong with it.
Okay.
There's something wrong. There's something wrong with the situation, or there's a part of you that's not quite comfortable with it yet. You got to find that comfort and try to navigate that situation. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go away. That's what
Okay.
failures are for. That's what failures are for, man. So you can learn, what steps not to take, what chances to take, what chances not to take. That's the message I would try to convey.
Okay. Damon, with the question I want to ask, I'm gonna go next, but the question what I asked was, it said, what is your old school advice for the young men these days, right? And I said, give us 2 things that you would give your son when it comes to dating and relationships with young ladies, right? So both my sons, I gave them the same message. The number one thing, the absolute number one thing that I gave them was you need to understand how much you love who you are before you before you try to get into a relationship with somebody. It's not that hard. You know what I mean? What motivates you? If it's just physical, if it's a mental, emotional thing, if it's all the above, what motivates you to go after this woman? When you go after this little girl, this little woman, whoever it is, you have to be confident in who you are as a person, as a human being, period. Period. You got to love yourself. You have to love yourself and love who you are. Because once you love who you are, and my sons will tell you this is what I tell them all the time. You love who you are, it makes no difference what anybody says to you. Because you have to be a good steward on rejection and a good steward on acceptance. You got to know how to be a winner. When I say acceptance, you got to know how to. If this woman reciprocates how you feel because she looks at you and say you are handsome, and she's giving you all these things, it can't go to your head because you'll step outside yourself. Be appreciative of it, and for God's sake, don't humble yourself, but understand that you already had that. You don't need no confirmation from her. You stepped to her because you knew you had this thing. You know what I mean? And then the other one is don't tell your friends shit about your relationships. Don't tell your boys nothing about your relationships unless it's your real ace. And you're going to know who your ace is. You feel what I'm saying? You're going to know who your ace is. But if it's just friends, even though y'all close, they don't need to know nothing about her or what y'all doing. Because that brings into jealousy, that brings into envy, that brings into, them trying to replace you. You feel what I'm saying? But those are the 2 things I would do. Damon, what about yourself? What is the dating advice you would give to a young man, to your son? And just give us 2 strong ones you believe.
The dating advice I would give is be honest. You know what I'm saying? Don't run from yourself and don't run from the damn truth. Either she gonna accept it or she ain't.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If it's somebody you got a crush on, it ain't gonna be the first time. But it ain't gonna be the last time. You just learn how to be yourself. And like y'all said, piggyback on all the things y'all said, love yourself, respect yourself, and just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit around having to remember a damn lie you told.
That could be you.
Yeah, that's some real shit. That's some real shit.
As I sit here and think about it, man, the few times, because Damon, you mentioned crushes or whatever, man. A few times, man, I pursued somebody I was crushing on, and I was fortunate enough to, spend time with that person. I found myself being rather disappointed.
Mm.
You know,
You put people on the pedestal. You put people on the pedestal. That's what happens.
we do. That's when I found out how superficial looks really are.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna tell you what I figured out. Go ahead.
Main thing is, as far as putting your best foot forward, man, that requires learning how to groom yourself. You know what I'm saying? Not like everybody else, but what you comfortable with, because people recognize different. They recognize when you yourself, and they say, "Oh, he got his own style." You know what I'm saying? He got his own way, and you know what I'm saying. As long as you carrying that with self confidence, you can't lose with that, bro.
I tell you, when it came to being a semi celebrity when I was in college, right? Um, Dimes, quarters, dollar bills, 50-cent pieces was flowing through my gate, right? But y'all know what kind of person I was. I get what you're saying. Once I saw the quarter was a shiny quarter or the 50-cent piece was shiny, once I got over the glare, which was pretty quick, right? I realized how much can I pay for this? And really what I'm saying is the value of it. Like, is this young lady, and I didn't get into if she was there for me. I didn't give a fuck about that. I was young. I was young. We were both young. We can't give each other anything because we're in college. We trying to find our way through life. So it was no what's the best way to put it? It was no loyalty test for me. It was like I understood. The one thing that I understood was, okay, you might be using me for the proximity because I'm walking on campus and everybody like, yo, like junior year, end of sophomore year, junior year, people was like, yo, that's Keith Armstrong. That's Keith Armstrong right there, all the way to my senior year and after, right? Because I did a fifth year. But after, that's Keith Armstrong. So I didn't get caught up on that because I loved myself. You know what I'm saying? Now, did I reap the benefits in certain situations? Yes, because extraordinary women who were attracted to fame knocked on my door. I mean, and that's the God's honest truth. You know what I'm saying? But I was stable enough not to get drunk off that power. It's the best way I can put it. You know what I'm saying? It's the best way I can put it. But I'm saying that to say that I don't feel sorry for the kids nowadays because the goal we had when we was 18, 19 years old, it wasn't a relationship, it was the poom poom, right? The overall perception these days is the poom poom is easier to get as long as you have something about you that's shiny, that's glistening, right? But are you mature enough for the longevity to get to a relationship? I don't know if you guys understand where I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, I mean, once you peel the wrapper from the pretty package, man, I mean, what's under it. I mean, anytime you find yourself in a situation where you've been pursuing somebody a couple of weeks, a month, a couple of months, or whatever, and then, like I said, you spend time with them, and they like your company. They figure out that they like your company, but you're like, well, you boring. We don't talk about that. All we do is wrestle. Like, I mean, you
Sometimes
know,
that's enough, but go ahead.
sometimes it's enough. I mean, but when you
When
think,
you're young, I'm sorry, when you're young, it's enough.
even when you're young, man, when you think that you're trying to find something deeper, you know, that you have the opportunity to, and everything could be clicking on 100. But if you're just not feeling the situation, then you're just not. You know, don't fuck with your crushes, man, and never meet your heroes because you're always gonna be disappointed.
That's true. Damon, what you think?
No, for me, man, we talking about college. For me, man, you know the thing that stuck out for me, man, was getting with this woman, man, and not having to eat that goddamn food they had in the lunchroom and shit because she could make a meal for a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And making a dollar out of 15 cents. You know what I'm saying? Going to the department store and coming out with $150 and you didn't bring but $50. I was hooked after that.
All right,
I
well,
said,
Damon,
yeah, this the
hold,
life I
hold on,
want.
hold on, Damon. Explain, because me personally, I
Without the
had
foolishness, man.
no. I'm saying explain your journey. Why you're saying it like that? Explain to the people exactly how your as far as relationship was, how your college experience was.
First of all, it was hell for me to get there because I wasn't the most studious motherfucker, you know. And once I got there, I had to pretty much start from scratch. So I needed guidance. I needed somebody that's gonna say, you know what? I see you here for the same thing I am. So let's do this together and build some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I got caught up in that. You know, it was still, you know, people hollering and all that shit. But I'm like, okay, you know, I can't get caught up in that because if I do, I'm gonna flunk out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Getting caught
Okay,
up in the life.
okay,
You know,
Damon. So basically, what you're saying is you met your current wife in
I
college
did.
early. Okay,
I did.
okay.
I can sit up and I can tell y'all, man, going to Myers, man, and in there walking around, wanting everything. And she breaking it down. Now we're gonna get this. You know what I'm saying? And this is gonna last us out the week. And then we're gonna have money over here to go to the movies and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. And I start getting off into that, and I'm like, yeah, I can live with this shit. This is all right for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then traveling and shit and all that. I'm like, hell yeah, this is what I want. You know, so you know, just being totally honest, I got caught up in that and I loved it.
No doubt, no doubt.
You know, I'm
I
not
was
bullshit. I
always
mean, that's the God's honest truth.
I was always a over romanticized trial and error guy. Is what I was, man. I mean, it is what it is.
And
Okay.
then it was that other element, man, where everybody jealous of your ass. You know what I'm saying? What's special about them? All this shit.
Yeah,
So then that
you,
bond grows. You know what I'm saying?
you
That
bringing,
bond, huh?
I said you bringing into something that my look, motherfuckers gonna always have a problem with you when you happy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just how.
It
Yeah,
was a motherfucker. It was, you know. But you know, I'm just speaking from my experience, you know, and it was just something, man, that felt good. I still reminisce about that shit.
hmm. Oh yeah, oh
Mm.
yeah. Next thing on the screen, is there a stigma in place for how a man should spend money on a woman while dating? And I say that to say that what was funny is, surfing through social media, which is a small percentage of real life in our community, but it's entertaining life. I saw a couple ladies and men be very materialistic when it comes to dating. And the one thing that they always ask, man, and I'm like, yo, you kind of stepping over, and I'm talking about the pop the balloon people. You kind of stepping over toes, men and women stepping on toes, right? They ask that one question. Well, how much money do you make? Well, do I know you? Why the fuck do you want to know how much money I make? It's real shit. Well, or what kind of job you have? What does that have to do with you coming on a show to pop the balloons? And it's a dating show. You know what I'm saying? We're going on a date. So why do you need to know my income? That's the reason why I brought this to you guys today. But any comments on it?
I think that the whole dating with a purpose thing that I hear a lot of black people talking about. I think that's a stigmatism. I mean, because I mean, seriously, there's got to be a point and period in your life when you just go out and date and interact with different people. Okay, if you're lucky enough, man, you know, you start to realize early that you know you want to be settled.
Gotcha.
You know, the worst thing, well, and I figured it out through experience, man, was, you know, being involved in any kind of interpersonal relationship with no, you know, with no plan for myself. You know, not necessarily directionless in the relationship, but I mean, just being complacent, being happy with, you know, with the temporary amenities that come with relationships or whatever. And I'll say, how can I put this? I would make whoever I was with, you know, that was like a wife, you know.
Well, so and let me get this straight. So if it's somebody you dating, you put yourself in the energy like, yo, we kind of learn long term, so I can learn you.
Yeah,
Or,
this is it. I mean, but not necessarily even because of the person. It's because I at the time I just so happened to like the feeling of being in in a relationship,
gotcha.
and
Okay.
it wasn't always as deep as I thought it was, and vice versa. You know,
Gotcha.
so I had to be real careful with that, man. But you know, whenever I hear somebody say that they're dating for with intention. And I'm like,
Okay.
you're 25, 26 years old. You know, do you really want to tie yourself down this early?
How many chicks y'all went to college with, man? That went to school for specifically that purpose, man, to find a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Percent
But,
percentage
you know,
wise, about
to find a rich dude to marry.
percentage wise, about 65%.
You see what I'm saying? So
And then
my whole point of
it may be lower, but I'm saying as far as my optics, this is what I saw. Like I came here to meet my husband.
right,
This combined with black and white women. So
right, exactly. So my whole point of bringing that up is that if that's how they land with it, man, if that's how they feel and what they thinking, I can't be mad at them. You know what I'm saying? That's just what they want. That's their expectation. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Some people go
gotcha.
there to build something with somebody, and some people go there to, I'm gonna catch me somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's just how life works, man. That's just how it is. I mean, I think it works out better when you're building something with somebody. But some people go to college, man, to meet that person, meet that one. You know? And and
Gotcha.
and and and, and some guys go there to flaunt like that too. You know what I'm saying?
I
It
see what
it
you're
ain't
saying.
like when female asks a guy, what you do for a living, how much money you make. Some cats, you know what I'm saying, is proud to say, hey man, this is what I make, this what my hustle is. That's
Yeah.
just how some people are, man.
But you know why? You know why they do that? Why they divulge it? Either lie or tell the truth about it, or hedge it a little bit. It's because it's easier. if I can get this fine woman to at least give me a solid chance, or at least if she's hungry enough for my money, come with me. It's easier to be that way. Now we call it tricking off your money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, I'll come back with that. Go ahead, man. Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying that's just the world that we live in, man. Some people they get on like that, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Honestly though, man, I mean, money, like back in college, man, I ain't never have no money. Not for dating, but I dated, you know.
But
And
see,
when I met my wife, the decision was made for me because you know we were dating or whatever, and she made me get a job.
but but
You know what
look,
I'm saying? I was like, shit,
but here's the thing, Jaquan. They also date you for your major too. I've
Yeah,
seen that. I've seen
yeah.
that.
And you know what's crazy, man? The one thing that we have to be honest about, man. If you out there hanging with your boys and y'all go to the bar every weekend, and you know you're gonna spend this amount of money, you ain't gonna do the same if you on a date with a female. You
No,
you
no, no,
buy
no,
five brothers
that's real.
drinks all night,
absolutely,
and then
absolutely.
she say, "Can you take me over to this nice restaurant where you spending the same amount of money in that bar?
That's real.
You ain't gonna do that."
No, no. You know what I think it is though. To be honest with you, bro. To be honest with you, I think where people get caught up on, be like, forget that, that's some BS or whatever, right? Is because the superficialness of that woman, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve that shit. Know what I'm saying? Where they expect doggy bags when you take them to a certain joint. Some brothers, look, some brothers are prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers budget their dollars to know that she gonna take some shit home because it's gonna get them closer to their goal. Because some brothers make it out of a game, man. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers make it out of a game.
It's some merit to because I've heard several people say, man, look, if you ain't got no money, then you ain't got no business dating. I think
And,
that
and what?
I think that
I,
has
I,
merit, man. Because
no,
no,
no.
Damon made an excellent point. I only went out to the bar, spent dropped 200, 250 on the boys,
You know what I'm saying?
and and and
No,
and,
no,
and,
no,
Wake,
no, no. That's real.
and
That's
we all
real.
wake up the next day talking about, damn, I spent $250 on a
yeah,
couple of cats I didn't even know.
That's
and,
real. No, no,
and we
no. But I
and,
agree.
and we all went to we all went to separate houses. Ain't nothing happened. Now,
But
well,
no, I'm saying this is what I'm saying to you. When I'm with the fellas, I'm going to the bank and I am taking out $60 because I'm pre-gaming, bro. Meaning I'm gonna drink my brews. I might take a shot, and that's fucking it. But I'm going to the point where I'm going to have 2 rounds for my guys. You get what I'm saying? There's no way I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over $70 worth of drinks unless it's the particular place, and they know that because what we do, if you're smart enough, each one of us will buy a round. That's how you budget your motherfucking money with the fellas.
but see,
Now,
that's my point though.
I agree with you. I agree with y'all though. With the woman, I get it. If you're gonna spend the money, you're gonna do what you're doing, then don't be a hoe when she got a big ass stomach. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but if I take look, if I was single and I chose to take a woman out on a date, man, and I drop cash, that's because I wanted to drop cash.
That's
You know,
because you wanted to do it. Right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and
I agree with you. I
and
agree.
it ain't got nothing to do with Hell, whether or not we're gonna do something later, it ain't got nothing to do with it. When you out with me,
No, hell
we gonna have a good time. And you know, shit.
no. My track record is I'm taking you out to dinner, and if it's expensive, it's out of appreciation because I am going to be with you first. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to buy. I can't. Maybe it's the sign. This is where we grew up at. I mean, I'm talking about the time we grew up at because it was not predicated on what restaurant you before you actually had relations with that woman. It was not predicated on how well you fed her. You feel what I'm saying? No, it had a lot to do with hey, I'm feeling you. Let me treat you nice. Let me treat you like I appreciate you. But see, we old school like that. And for some reason, I feel like it got flipped. Now it's the other way around. Like you have to go in your pocket first or look like you're worthy enough for some affection. What y'all think?
I think in any male female relationship, your wife, your girlfriend, your work wife, your buddy or whatever, women do not want to be in public with a man and be seen paying. That's what it
Of
is.
course. You don't ask nobody out on a date if you're not willing to pay for the date. That is foolish, man.
I'm talking about it, even if it's not a date. I mean, because there's been times, you know, because I stopped carrying money like a long time ago, right? There's been
No,
times where,
I always do, Jaquar. I
yeah, I
always
mean,
do. But go ahead.
I do now, but you know, like especially when we first got together, and I didn't carry money. You know, my wife would give me money outside of the bar, outside of the restaurant or whatever. So,
Yeah, no, of course, of course. But see, that's your ace boom. That's your
Yeah, that's
people
what
that
I was
you.
about to say.
Yeah, that's your people. That's your
I,
people.
I was about
You
to
know what I'm
say that's
saying?
what's happening right there.
That's your
Hell
people.
yeah.
That's how y'all get down. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying is an assumption. That's how you do it. I'm just talking about the casual dating, smoke. That's all I'm talking about. I mean, and guys looking and please in the comments if you're looking at this, please comment on this because like I said, we're having a little fun with this today. Here's my thing. I'm not talking against how the new age, but we can definitely speak on this because we dated. You feel what I'm saying? So the new school form of dating, I really and truly can't get with because it's like you have to show your price tag before somebody would take you serious.
But don't you
But if
think
it's
that
the
kind of
but but it's the let me just say this. If it's the first date or the second or the third date, why do you care? That's all. Go ahead, Dan.
don't you think they're doing that, man, for the clicks and the clout and all that bullshit? Do you think that really goes on, man? I
If
mean,
they
I
put it
can't be
on
mad at a woman.
if they put it on Instagram, yeah, they do it. Yeah, I get it.
You see what I'm saying? It's all sensationalized, all that, man. But I think in real life, man, if and I'm speaking from a man and a woman's point of view, man. If they want to go somewhere nice and have a good time, done worked all week, worked hard all week, and just want to go out and have a good time at a nice place that's kind of expensive. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with wanting to have that experience? You feel what I'm saying?
I don't think it's nothing. But go ahead.
There's nothing wrong with that, And if you got to spend $200-300, it's just what it is. If you can afford it, don't be no fool if you can't. Be
That's
back there
real.
washing dishes and shit.
I ain't saying nothing about getting pimped. I mean, you know, you
You
know,
know.
you know what you get.
Nah. First, yeah, and you know what's so crazy about it is
But
being met. Look. I'm saying this real quick, Damon. Being married, you are the biggest trick in the world because the woman that you love, you taking care of everything. You feel what I'm saying? She ain't gonna want for nothing. I'm talking about technically. I'm not talking about, if you're single. I'm talking about technically, you take care of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Is it about ego, you think, guys?
Don't nobody want to be seen as a paymaster. I mean, but
Man, you ain't gonna go no goddamn where, man. You ain't gonna go nowhere, and your wife can't order what the hell she want, man. You know what I'm saying? And she said, "Hey, well, I want this and that." And you look at her and say, "That ain't gonna happen, bro."
Look,
you gonna
look,
pull out the credit card. You gonna pull all that out, man. Make sure your woman
you
eat
damn
good.
right. You damn
You know what I'm
right. Your
saying?
woman,
And ain't
your
gonna go
woman,
home feeling nothing.
your woman, your
Nothing. They ain't
wife,
gonna feel bad about none of that.
your wife, the mother of your child, you are going to, man, this is what we do. We looking out like, yo, come on, fuck it, let's go. But then we also man enough to say, baby, you're gonna have to wait a couple weeks until I get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you can, hey, baby, you know I'm take care of you. You know we got them bills and shit. It's coming up this month. But that's reality. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying?
That's real shit.
Ain't no dumb shit behind that, man.
That's
But
real shit.
when it comes to your wife or your woman, man, it feels good to give. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It feels good to give, and then the following week, you know what I'm saying, when you can't buy that pack of cigarettes and shit, say, well, it was worth it. You know, it was all
yeah,
good.
yes, sir.
You know, but she's
And
still eating the food. She's still snacking on that.
I mean, because
You just
what
you just can't you just can't go in the refrigerator and eat her take the food she
you
wants.
cannot look, you cannot touch it.
How the hell you gonna spend all that money buy this for me and then you take your ass and then eat it all up?
Yo,
it's
like
just say,
like Kevin Hart. I thought it was cool. I didn't.
yeah, man. When my wife buys like some juice or something,
Yeah,
like
man.
she'll buy it tomorrow, right? And the juice will sit in the refrigerator for 2 weeks and damn near turn into wine, man. And and
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
when I go to drink the motherfucker the day before it expires, whatever, I get chewed out. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Let
Hey,
this shit go to waste?
hey,
Look,
my wife be buying that novelty shit, but they only sell it in summers and shit.
Yeah.
I
Every,
wake up,
hey,
I
look like
wake
every,
up parched, thirsty as hell, and I be like, man, but she ain't gonna miss it.
and
She
you
ain't
know
gonna
what's
miss
so
it.
great?
like shit,
And drink that
My
shit.
wife too. Me and my wife go the same way, man. She will sit there and buy a certain thing, and I had to tell her it's gonna get drunk. If
I'm
I
drinking it.
see that, I said if I see it's been in there for 3 weeks,
Hell no.
and the shoulders ain't off of it, shit.
It's like we all got to lose out. We got, we all got to lose out because you moving slow. Fuck that.
Yeah, man. I'm like, no, that is not gonna happen.
Oh man.
But look, let
Oh
me put
man.
this up. Marcus says, I've been out of the dating game for decades. That's what I'm talking about, Marcus. That's the way you phrase that. But currently, social media has driven the conversation to which restaurants are accessible, acceptable. I get it. Uh, one young lady said it costs $50 a month to date her because the man needs to be able to afford her lifestyle. $50? In my mind, ain't no way. Say $50 a month, 50K a month. I saw that, Marcus. I saw
50
that.
G.
Oh.
Oh man.
I saw that. I saw
I
that.
don't. I don't
You,
think I've. I don't think I've ever been around a woman like that. And my
Bro,
wife is priceless, man. But if she put a price tag like that on me monthly,
bro, let me tell you something. We got family that's salesmen, like great salesmen, right? And what salesmen do, and this is the answer to you, Marcus. What salesmen do is they grab onto something that's outrageous and they try to sell it. I saw what you're talking about, Marcus. That woman was trying to sell a dream. Now she probably knew somebody, or it probably happened to her one time where somebody a trick who got millions and say, "Yo, I'm gonna pay you 50 million so I can pee on your foot and see you lick that shit off." You understand what I'm saying?
50 million.
I
Damn.
no. I'm sorry, 50,000. He got 50 million. I'm gonna give you this certain amount of money so I can piss on your foot. Cause see, what you're doing is you're putting a price tag to you. You're just doing just like with Saudi Arabia, right? She's selling a point. She's selling herself. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And you know what? There's always a sucker who got money who want to be known to have had that woman under those circumstances. So you throw it out there. You know how they say speaking to existence? That's some real shit. That's real. What I mean by is people believe if you speak that into existence, it's gonna happen for them.
a
But
lot of people even nowadays, man, believe that you should not, you cannot, and you should not monetize certain things. I mean, she was speaking about a business transaction, and that's exactly how that situation
that was it.
should be
That was
approached.
it. That was it.
So if you choose as a man, who got $50,000 a month to drop on female companionship, you got to know that it's business.
You are an idiot. When I say that is because this woman who's asking this is not a famous celebrity like Beyonce being single, Rihanna being single. You notice I just said 2 billionaires. You know what I'm saying? And they charging you the paltry price of 50K just for their attention, right? Then you hop on it. But other than that, come on, man.
That's it. That's simply weeding out, motherfuckers. That's what that is. 50K a month to deal with me. Who you know? Unless they got money to jack off like that, who gonna do that?
Nobody's gonna do that, bro. Nobody's gonna do that.
Right.
I mean, if I was single, I would consider it if there was somebody if there was nobody who could say they had it for nothing.
Okay, let me just say this. If I was single and be rich being single, I have no problem with tricking off dollars. That's some real shit. I would have no problem. But when it comes to the 50K and all of this, what in the world is worth 50K? You know what I'm saying? Now I'll give you a luxurious apartment, maybe about 3,000 a month. Now that might
Okay,
add
so
up.
50.
Listen to what I'm saying. That might add up to 50K as far as throughout the year. You know what I'm saying? But my thing
Man, listen.
we going to your spot. You're gonna be ready. You're gonna be under. You remember in the hotels how they had that light in the bathroom. You can flip the light on and that heat come down on you. I want you to be greased up with that red light on your ass, shimmering when I walk up in that bitch every time I call.
Bro, 50K is month. 50K a month is how much a year, man?
3 times 12.
Just
50 times 12. What is that?
let's just do the math here, man. Whatever
Hold
it
on.
is,
I got
if
you. Hold on.
motherfuckers paying
Fuck that, man. I got you. But go ahead and finish, Damon, as we doing this.
If 50K of money, it better be two children in that equation, brother.
It's $600,000 a year.
It better be some child support in that, brother. You understand what I'm saying?
600.
You watch your mind. I better be
Now
taking care of a life.
you're a
I better
billionaire
be
now.
providing. I don't care if I was a billionaire. I better be taking care of a child, man. 50K a
Yeah,
month. You out your mind?
yeah.
I better be that better be child support. And I'm going to the court to get it reduced.
$50,000 a month. $50,000 a month, man. It's gonna be a lot more than just cooking and fucking going on. Here.
Out of here, man.
Man, she got to be an evil genius, a scientist.
I'm paying
Look,
for
look, don't you have to have the fountain of youth going on?
look. It's gonna be
Look,
school.
I'm calling you up. Hey, have my drink ready when I walk in the door.
$600,000 a year. Man, I'm raising 2 kids with that.
Yeah.
Let me make it.
I'm gonna call.
I'm providing a livelihood for some children. I ain't put out your mind, man.
I'm gonna call you.
And money ain't my God.
I'm gonna call you at 3 o'clock in the morning just to hear you sing the goddamn ABC. That's the kind of
Oh shit! Look. Excuse me. Once I get off the phone with her or I leave the house, she gonna be standing in the doorway when I leave the house. Yeah, I hate him. I
$50,000. These shit slaves and cost that much, man.
This is not
Anywhere
worth
to
it.
hell.
Yeah.
Look. If we got kids, this is not worth it. I can't stand it. Oh, mommy, why don't we move? No. But and it's not about the money. I think honestly, if I look at it, I think it's more has a lot to do with uh the principle of it. Like because we got more money, because we got the money to be able to do these things, right? We're supposed to change our morals, who we are.
I mean,
I don't mind being bought because that's basically what's happening. She's being bought for her time, her essence, for her character. Period. You know what I'm saying? But the person, what? How do you? Okay, how do you feel that you're spending this amount of money just for this woman to pay you attention? Know what I mean?
either good or
That's
bad.
crazy.
That's you know what that is, man. That's control, bro. If I get if some cats, man, if they got it like that, if I give you that type of money, what you said earlier, Keeper, I should be able to piss on you. Why would you degrade yourself like that
Yeah,
for $50,000 a month? That's crazy, man.
I think if you grow up in poverty, I get it. I get it. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying? No, yeah, if somebody willing to pay you,
eventually,
if you're on the let me say this. Let me say this. Not justifying them doing it, but if you're on the receiving end of that amount of money and you never had that kind of money consistently, you would you would mess up your morals, period.
Look,
If you test it, if you test it now, this is men and women now. I'm
do
not talking to just women.
you honestly see a difference between the NBA and prostitution?
What? What do you mean?
Do you honestly see a
I
difference?
get that. I get that, but what's prostitution? I don't get it.
A woman, air quotes, compromising her morals and shit for the sake of a dollar.
I mean,
Using her physical assets in order to gain money.
Do you mean groupies or do you mean as far as the actual
However,
NBA players?
how- however it translates, I'm talking about a prostitute and LeBron James. Do you see any difference? Both people are using their physical attributes, for monetary gain. And and and
Okay.
and, and in some cases, the
Well,
moral question can be applied to both parties.
All right.
so where
I,
do LeBron lose morality, man, in those terms, bro?
I think
LeBron loses morality in those terms when he goes out to the club and some kind of stupid scenario where he puts himself in jeopardy. Happen.
Well, he's never done that. So
okay.
I just use him as an example. But think of
I
somebody.
get the point you're making.
But, okay. No, let me ask this real quick.
I get the point you're making, but playing basketball and selling your body, one has integrity, the other is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
All right. And that's what I was going to comment on. There is more of a pseudo slavery concept when it comes to professional athletes. I think.
Okay, okay. So let me reframe. Do you see any difference between a prostitute and a carpenter?
You
Both
got me
parties
stumped, bro.
both parties use their physical
Well,
attributes for monetary gain.
but see, look, this is why I threw no judgment in anything that I said because the prostitute has to do with more of morality than the practical part of it. You feel what I'm saying? The carpenter that has no morality in it is just a service that's provided. So really and truly,
Service that's provided. So it doesn't make a difference what the carpenter might build with his hands. Is what you're saying. What if
no,
what if
no, you're misunderstanding me. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do it has to do with people look at prostitution more on the moral scale than the practical scale.
Right.
prostitution? I mean, and don't get me wrong. I'm not stamping and I'm playing devil's advocate, but I mean, prostitution. I mean, it's it's sustainable with proper health care. It's uh it's entrepreneurial. It's what I mean.
I get that, but what has it always been judged at? It's always been judged on the morality scale.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's
and
all.
you can do all
Eh,
the
eh,
proper health care and all that. It's still wear and tear, man, and it's still reputation involved too. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be involved.
you remember
You
you
don't
remember
want to
you remember,
be. You're not.
you
You're
remember
not gonna wife nobody, man. Everybody done ran through, bro. You ain't trying to do that, man.
I didn't say anything about wifing, man. But you remember the TV show Gunsmoke with
Talking about
I
Kitty.
forget, yeah, Matt, with Sheriff Matt Dillon. Miss Kitty was the madam. Hell, Huggy Bear was a pimp.
First of all, I understand where y'all both is going, but Damon, I will not allow you to get away with that shit. You said the wear and tear.
Come on, bro.
Wow,
Real talk, man.
wow, wow.
Real talk.
Wear and tear.
I
Oh,
think, man.
that don't factor in. That ain't a
No, no,
thing.
no, no. No, what it was is I didn't disagree with you, but what it
Oh,
was it caught me off guard. Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but wow.
yeah.
That's
You
all.
imagine, man. You imagine, man. Or you playing in the NBA and one of your teammates' boys ran through a woman you trying to wife. You know what I'm saying?
They
He ain't
do
in the
it. They
NBA. He
do.
ain't got the money.
They do it all the time.
It happens
I'm
all
just
the
saying, can you imagine wifing that female when his boy from the hood, you know what I'm saying, did what he did, and you trying to wife this female? It's like Are you really serious going to sit down and tell me that that's not going to bother you? That's not going to affect your relationship?
It's not going to affect their relationship because he most likely he knows that this happened, this occurred.
He either knows or he
It
doesn't.
it it don't escape them. And plus, when you're in love, you ignore all of that shit. Why you think? And this is a small example, but why you think uh porn stars have the most loyal husbands, even though you know what they do for a living?
Is that true? Is that a true statement?
Yes, yes. Hell,
Why? Because
let's just simple.
why? Because of promises rendered? Fuck,
Maybe, maybe they ain't all.
fuck
You know
out
what
of
I'm
here,
saying?
man.
It's about you not being your job, man. I mean, shit. It's like
Listen, you love who you fall in love with who the hell you fall in love with. You know what I'm saying? That's just a thing. That's just what happens, man. But you know, the worst person in my life is a pimp. You understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
I have no respect. I have no respect for him. You know what I'm saying? And it's a struggle for me to respect somebody who got pimped by a motherfucker who don't work for a living. You feel what I'm saying? You got food, you fell for the okie doke. I can't respect that. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? But
you know what
I can
that's.
respect the human being, but I'm not wifing nobody like that, bro.
Yeah, you know,
every
they
kid.
taking
You know what I'm saying?
advantage. They taking advantage of emotional scars from
Right,
childhood. It's called
right.
scar. You know, childhood trauma. That's what the pimps are
Yeah.
taking because the pimps. This pseudo. This is a pseudo answer coming from me. The pimps make them feel safe and make them feel important. You know what I'm saying? Because what they do is justify the shit. Say if the woman is prone to this because they was molested as children, what the pimp does is justify and weaponize those scars to use it to capitalize on everything.
But
Hmm.
I'm not even willing to do that, Keith. I mean, if not all prostitutes are victims. Some of them
No,
might
I get that, Jaquan. I get
some
it.
of, some of them might enjoy the aspect of a pimp. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
if a woman uh, has an entrepreneurial spirit and she happens to be using her body to make money, then who am I to judge? Hell, I wanted to be in NFL. I wanted to use my body as a tool, to
Yeah, yeah. I don't judge them at all, bro. I just don't do it because that's what you do. You know what I mean? As long as we ain't in no relationship. I
I
mean
mean,
that.
they don't yeah,
Well,
they don't come to my job asking why I lock up kids. So
Yeah,
here's the
but hey,
thing.
look. Look. As long as
Here,
we just friends, I ain't got to touch you. Right.
hey, wind up down and buying by their damn self. Because don't no man, no real upstanding gentleman want to be walking around and every nigga on the street laughing at him. Fuck,
Nah,
it ain't happening.
because there are some men out there who love for two reasons.
It ain't happening.
Love them for who they are. I mean, you may not because you the way you think about who you are as a person, but there are
So
men out
what is
there
that?
who
What's the old girl? They used to call her the girl next door. What's that chick name, man? Who played Brockovich?
he got a brother, Robert.
yeah.
Yeah,
Julia
Robert. Oh,
Roberts.
so that right. So everything, every prostitute story ends that way. You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
saying to you that there are
Please.
guys out there. There are guys out there who want those prostitutes to end that way. I mean,
Okay. Sound like a fairy
they
tale to
may,
me, but
Trick
yeah.
prostitute.
Movies are a fairy tale, bro.
Chicks fall in love all the time in real life. Chicks fall, dudes fall in love with chicks.
Yeah,
I mean, so
all the time, man.
Lord
All the
have
time.
mercy.
So yeah,
Help us.
but see, that's the thing about it. Is how is your lens that you see things through. You know what I mean? But all right, but
Right.
look, real quick, people in the comments and Damon Jaquar, while dating, I'm glad we did it this way today. By the way, guys, but while dating, should the person you're dating ask how much money you make? Also, I
You
seen
already
that
asked that
on.
question.
No, what I asked was, is there a stigma in place on how people should spend money on women? That's what I asked. We kind of touched on it. We probably kind of touched on it, right?
I had to
But
stretch my back again.
you could, we could. Did I ask that, Jaquar?
like I said, we kind of touched on it.
Okay, this is new, right? But what I was saying was, I got it from the Pop the Balloon challenge, right?
Mm.
Like when I first saw that, it was a novelty. It was funny, whatever, right? Now it gets to the point where black men and women are questioning each other. I
Mhm.
popped the balloon because your edges were showing and your baby hair looked like motherfucking dog baby hair. You know what I'm saying? Just saying dumb shit, you know. And it's like, why do you go on this show just to do this stuff? And the women like, well, look, I didn't like your outfit, so I popped the balloon. Or you too short, you too tall, you don't look like you work out. I seen that. You know what I mean? Different things. And then I saw something where this woman, beautiful woman, you could tell that she's good and bad. She's been out in the streets, but she also ain't been out in the streets, right? Thick, beautiful woman. She insulted these brothers and asked them, how much money do you make? And one brother said, well, damn, we just going on one day. Why you want to know how much money I make? You know what I'm saying? And the way times are now, people be like, yeah, he don't want nobody to know how much money he make because he's broke. He's brokey. He's a brokey. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, damn, do you understand that that's some personal shit?
Man,
For us to go on a date, you know that's personal, right? You know?
mm,
You know, I don't think I've ever had that conversation, man. I mean, I don't know. It might have been because I found my wife when I found her or whatever, but I've never had an extensive conversation with a woman about how much I made or whatever. And I never ever worried about how much she made. Like I said,
I
if
got you.
we if
I
we
got
were
you.
going we were going out, then my intentions was to spend some money and have a good time.
But you know what? I think it's us, man. It's our generation. We came in under the old school generation. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if I might volunteer my money to try to impress you because I want you to be around for a while. But if it's temporary, you don't need to know nothing about what's in my pocket. You feel what I'm
but
saying?
but but what type of relationship is that grounded on, bro? What kind of money you make? First of all, if you get with me and you can't figure out that we can build something together, then is that really in a relationship, man, or an arrangement? You know what I'm saying? Can you find love and compassion and companionship in an arrangement?
It's like an auction block, man. I think, you know, I don't know. Like
What is the foundation built on?
I would never ask a woman that. Mostly because how we was raised, like, yo, you're the provider, you're the protector. But it is on your mind though. You are concerned that this woman has some kind of skill that she can bring something to the table, but she don't have to bring everything to the table, and she don't have to bring a high percentage to the table. It's just a simple fact because it tells you what type of character this woman has. If you want her permanently in your life, you know what I'm saying? So
It's all predicated on what?
what do you mean?
If the whole conversation is about, okay, you know what? In order to spend time with you, build a relationship, I need to know how much money you make. Now that's understandable. Like I said earlier, you know what I'm saying? People do that. You know what I'm saying? Because in a woman's situation, they might work hard, make a certain amount of money, get to a certain status, and they want somebody to be on the same level. That's understandable. I get that.
That's
But
but
if you,
Damon, that's like date 4, 5, right? It's not
yeah,
date one. It's not date one. That's all I'm saying.
right. And I understand your point. I totally get that. But if that's what's understood, then it's an arrangement. It's not
Yeah.
something that's built for, it's not a real foundation in terms of, well, I can't say that because that is, you know, something of agreement that you'll come to. But is it built on love and respect? You know what I'm saying? You're not respecting the man, you're respecting the money. You're respecting the status.
That happens all the
You feel
time,
what I'm saying?
right?
Yeah, it does happen. And I'm not denying that fact. It does happen all the time. What I'm saying though is if you are that person who wants to be if you want love reciprocated, man, like you expect it to be, is it predicated on money? Is it predicated on what a person makes? You know what I'm saying? If it comes down to, okay, we all about money now, then we figure out how to build it together. You know what I'm saying? It's not about where you
Yeah.
bring, you know, and then they take half your shit if it don't.
No, I mean, look, look. Let me tell you something.
You know what I'm saying? You
Unless,
tell me where that works, bro. Tell me
unless
where that
I
makes
am,
sense.
unless I am heavily besotted by this woman, like hypnotized, there's no way that I'm gonna take her seriously if she asks me. Now you can ask me what I do for a living. Okay, so now you have to work to calculate what the fuck I make. But when you ask me how much I make a year, there's no way I'll ever take you seriously as far as being in my life.
Would it be acceptable for a woman to ask if you work?
I think that's
Yeah, that's
acceptable.
acceptable. Hell
You damn
yeah.
right. You damn
Hell,
right.
matter of fact, y'all should come to that agreement from the jump start. You know what I'm
That
saying?
should look. That should be in the top 5 of the questions that you ask. Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, a whole lot of stuff can fall in that category. You can be taking care of her and somebody else's kids. Ain't nobody trying to do
Yeah.
that.
I mean, but with the natural progression of conversations, you know, once you answer that question, do you work? Yeah. Well, what field do you work in? It's going to come up because even if
But
you don't,
But you get,
even
but
if
you
you
can
tell a
answer
person,
that though.
even if you don't tell a person exactly what you make when you name the field, they're gonna have an idea.
But you can. But see,
but
that's the thing about it, Jaquar. You can answer that question. You know what I'm
and
saying? And then
you're not starting off with a lie either. You know what I'm saying? There's an
yeah,
understanding it. Well, this is what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Either
yeah.
you're gonna deal with it or you're not. And then if you can, then we can work something out. If not, we can move on, man. Keep it
I'm
pushing.
gonna tell you. I'm
No,
gonna tell you
no,
this.
no, no harm.
I'm gonna tell you the setup is where you can stand on 10 toes. What do you do for a living? I do this, and then you go to that next question. You try to pry more, and then the third question. Hey, why why you want to know about this? You know what I'm saying? Let's get to know each other. Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? Do you got good hygiene? Do your underarms smell like Burger King? Did you rush out the house? You understand what I'm saying? Like, those are the kind of questions you need to know.
Hey, Key. He make $350,000 a year, but I don't like his smile. He don't give a full smile when he smiles. Something going on.
Well, let me ask you this now. Okay, you said 4 or 5 dates. You know, you would be comfortable with her asking how much you make. At what number of dates do you think it's appropriate to ask about a credit rating, or you know, the shape of a person's credit?
You know
When you're
what?
investing in each other. When you're investing in each other.
When she started to split, when y'all talking about being together, at least boyfriend and girlfriend, when y'all talking about doing that, and y'all got different stuff at each other's crib, those are the kind of conversations you have. You feel me?
For
Because
me,
it get,
for me,
go ahead.
for me, when it comes to credit scores, that's what y'all talking about. Hey man, I saw this Airbnb, man, that we can invest in. Do you have the capital and do you have the credit? That's when you ask that question, bro. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, you just dating and going out and doing what you do.
That's it.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
You know, a commitment is a commitment. You know what I'm saying? In terms of how you choose to look at it. Is it monetary? Then it has to be on that level. All that stuff
Yeah.
factors in. But if it's just kicking it with each other and getting to know each other, you don't need to know all that. Just know that I show up when I show up. You know what I'm saying?
You
And
know,
you leave the restaurant without coming out your pocket.
when
Now,
you start
mind you,
knowing,
because what they say, what is that statement they say, man, when you introducing yourself in the beginning, you gonna put your best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? But if you ain't got it like that, it subsides somewhere. It's a little. And then you start coming to reality and you say, you know what? I can't go out every week now because I put in 15 hours last week to take you out.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you expect this from now on, don't expect to see me. Because I'm gonna be working.
And see, that's the thing about it is, this is why when I was single, I never lied. Never lied. Because if I say, hey, I can't do that, they have an idea why I can't do it. You know what I mean? But when you get caught up on the, hey, yeah, you know, you telling me you went here, you went there and did this and did that. Well, can we go do this weekend? Especially if you care about that woman. She really has to know that you have great potential, but you're a work in progress, period. You
Here,
know what I mean?
and Keith, just to piggyback on what you said, not to cut you off, but just to piggyback on what you said. You talking about if a female come to an understanding that you are a work in progress, what that means to me personally is that, man, there's potential in this man. I don't care about his status. You know what I'm saying? He can, like Malika said, he can only make $20K a month. I mean, you know, he can only make this amount of money, but if he has the potential to do this, and I see that in him, I'm supporting him in that aspect. That's building something.
Yeah.
That's building something. And that's something that you can work with.
It's a difference between seeing potential and actively helping the person achieve that potential. I think that's where the ball gets dropped a lot too. I mean, just because he's ambitious. Okay, some people need to be guided, and if you see that in a person, and you want to be in an environment where you are building or whatever, then by all means, do what you can to be with that person. But potential runs out, especially the older we get. You don't hear nobody talking about a 50-year-old man's potential.
That's real.
Well,
Because they always assume that 50-year-old man got his shit together.
Right. There's an expectation there. It's something my dad told me one time, man. He said, man, listen, he said, because I was smelling myself and being on this trip and all that shit. He was like, hey man, let me tell you something. You know what a real man is? Is that dude, man, who's struggling and figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? And still take care of his family. Because what the
Yeah.
family recognizes is how to overcome bad times. You know what I'm saying? How to overcome bad times and how to build character with that shit.
Yeah.
And I thought about that for a minute, and I was like, if that's who you are and that's the situation you in, you never lose in that regard as a man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always predicated on you figuring out how to make your situation work. It's always that. You know what I'm saying? And you're not leading from this area over here where you arrogant and you all that. You over here where you're humble and you overcome that shit. And you prosper and you build. And you was like, you know what? No matter what life brings me, I know I can be over here and make that shit work out. Over here, it's gonna either pass or fail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's either gonna pass or fail because I don't have a foothold over here. All I have over here is, you know what I'm saying, trying to floss to be that guy. But over here,
Yeah.
I didn't get abandoned. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It was trust built there. You know what I'm saying? And that woman said, now, hey man, I'm gonna give you these last $5,000 in my my shit. Now I'm gonna trust you. Now you either gonna make it work or you not.
Hey, look, it got to
Simply
be,
by the
look,
fact,
for me to take
simply by
that
the fact
5,000,
you not gonna take it, bro.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It got to be a sure thing and it's just some shit that I invented. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But go ahead.
It's just the fact that she's willing to invest that in you.
Yeah.
Don't mean you have to take it. You know what I'm saying? That's just what Pop used to call it, a nest egg that you can, you know what I'm saying? That you can look back and say, I'm not gonna touch that, but I know it's there.
Yeah.
You know. And if that woman is willing to put that in the pot, then that's a relationship right there.
Yeah. She cared. She cared about you. Let me ask you this. Lawrence said that's where the coffee date, because he's a big proponent on coffee dates, first date comes into play. You are both on even playing level. And if you shoot it, if you shoot that down, I could be a millionaire, but you would never know it because you were only about the money. So it pretty much exposes somebody's character in Lawrence's eyes if they don't fuck with the a coffee date. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I think that most people would want to begin with that period. Malika says people out people
People out
out
here,
here dating. Yeah, go ahead, then, Jakar.
people out here dating 800 credit scores, 800 credit score mental case. 50 Cent was upset his ex asked him for $10,000.
That's real. That's some real shit.
And we can also
I
say
just think, go ahead, bro.
that's that's how women get financially abused, chasing money instead of value, character.
That's real.
I
Go
just
ahead,
think,
Dana.
for me personally, I just think, man, that you only know what your relationship is you are a person invested in it in terms of y'all both being invested. You know what I'm saying? Trying to build something, coming into an agreement.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? If you have the attitude where, hey man, you not meeting up to my potential and all that stuff, and your credit score is not this, not that, and it's not what I thought, then you know what? Me personally, I can respect that. I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? And go on about your way, no hard feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ain't got to put me all off you ain't got to put me on the internet fronting me off talking about I ain't had that. We disagreed that it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? What's your motivation in making me look bad? But if you decide to say, you know what, this man got potential and there's an investment there and it works out, then speak on that shit too. Because I think that's the thing that needs to be heard throughout the internet and and throughout our people, whatever. Because that happens more times than not. It just does. You know what I'm saying? We just happen to be, when it don't work out, hey, we depend on celebrities to dictate what our relationships are supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Two millionaires decide they're not gonna be a couple does not constitute who the hell we are on the lower levels. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of stuff that factors in. What is you willing to work on? Who supported you? You know what I'm saying? Is there kids involved? How much, you know what I'm saying, are you invested in the kids? If I had a kid, if I was single and I had a kid and I wasn't married to the woman, she ain't got to tell me shit. She ain't got to take me to court. She ain't got to do nothing. I'm going to take care of my child. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing that she's going to do to get in the way of that because that's my seed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm obligated to that. I'm obligated to that because that's mine. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not getting caught up in all that other dumb shit, man, because it don't make any sense. It don't even factor in or make sense to me because I'm like, what is my child doing? Is she or he getting what they need? You know what I'm saying? I got to make sure this is in place so when they get this age, that's established for them. So on and so forth. That's just my thinking. All the other stuff, what kind of house you living in, all that. You know what I'm saying? Do they got a Sharpay or a damn poodle with shit?
Do your mama live with you?
I'm not dealing with all that. Long as my child is being taken care of and there's no stigma put on them, you ain't talking about me in front of him or her. We both respecting each other and it's a mutual thing. Then, I think that's what adults do, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
y'all got me talking about all this stuff, man.
And I got to go upstairs and explain it.
I don't.
No, but man, listen. I appreciate both y'all really and truly being earnest in your answers. See, they were answers where you really and truly, I think you both gave credible information and advice to younger men and women, to be honest with you. Malika, thank you for your participation. Lawrence, Marcus, thank you for your participation because the things that you guys added, it really and truly pushed us past. This was an easy 2.5 hours, man. I was surprised when I saw the time. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I look at the time too.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. With that being said, last words for the night. Jaquar, last words.
Gentlemen, I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation and I look forward to the next. Y'all be safe.
Damon, last words.
Man, I just like to sit up and kick it with my brothers, man. I love that. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those rare times, man. Every Friday I can kick it with y'all, bro.
Oh yeah. I love everybody's participation, everybody's involved. I told y'all many times, both of you guys many times, I look forward to Fridays. You know what I'm saying? So
Me too.
most people don't understand. When we as kids, we were close. And we're gonna continue to do that. You know what I mean? But this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe, and recommend us to to folks that you know serve YouTube that you know will benefit from our content. We really, really and truly love this. Ask them to subscribe to our channel. Ask them to look at the shorts and look at the videos. And it's all love, man. It's all love. Marcus, you have a great weekend. Malika, Lawrence, have a great weekend. You got your finger up, Damon. What is it?
Before we go, Lick, did Michigan win tonight? Do y'all know
She
if
said
Michigan won?
go. She said go blue. What time did they play?
I'm sure they didn't play. I'm gonna have to look it up, man, because I was looking for them last night to play. Hey, we finna win the natty, bro. Not the natty, but the you know what I'm talking about. Basketball joint.
National championship. That's all. And she said yes, they
They won.
did win.
Oh yeah, baby. We had the Elite Eight. All right.
All
All
right,
right, man.
go blue.
All right, go blue. Love y'all, man.
Love you too, man.
Thanks.
Y'all have a good day. This Strong Perspective Podcast. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Peace.